Alright, I got the manual out and everything like that. I figured out this little trick. This microphone is a CB mic. And so, until you actually push the PTT, the microphone element is disconnected. And we think that this thing has an issue with the relays. Anyway. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It sounds really good right now. KG7HVR testing 1 2 3 4. But what'll happen is it'll eventually just start to kind of do it'll drop out and you'll hear what sounds like it's starving for power or something. I haven't been able to get it to do it specifically like right now at this second. It seems like the more that you use it, the better that it works. But what I was doing was I had the thing just kind of cycling the relay back and forth as many times as possible. So it's not doing it right now, but what I found was you turn up the Vox gain, since this, I think you probably could just do it without a mic on it at all. Apparently not. If you have a microphone like this, you turn the Vox gain up all the way, click it, and it's such a high gain, it goes nuts. But it's not picking up any audio. It's not picking up any audio at all. Nothing. So when you do that, you can make it to where it'll work. So it's just clicking on and off, and there's like nothing happening here. We're just letting it cycle the relays every couple of seconds. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it'll stop at a certain point. And I just want it to sit here and click them without me having to sit here and go like this. I mean, I can do that, but so it's not picking up any audio. It's not putting on any power. It's on sideband. If there was a carrier or something, then we would see that. Because I honestly believe that it is a relay. I don't think it's any of these on the 5-volt supply, but those are problematic on these radios. So let me go ahead and turn the Vox gain off. KG7HVR test 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It seems to be working. I don't know when it's going to do its thing. I'm going to get it to make it do it again. Alright, let's turn the Vox gain all the way down so it doesn't do that annoying like thing. I also noticed that the audio has gotten a lot louder. Alright, let's try and turn it back down. Hello, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And the audio is about halfway. Now before, it seemed like with this radio, if you would turn the audio up really high, it was less likely to drop out. So I thought maybe it was something in the audio chain. So I guess what I'll do is I'll use it tonight, and I'll probably drive everybody nuts because it'll probably start doing something weird. I also have another board here that I have a freshly recapped one that I got from Clark, and This has got green letters on it, the other one's got black letters. They both have the same number, but there's some differences, like on the other board. There's another spot right here for a transistor that's been moved. And then, yeah, that's nasty looking. What I should do is just recap this board, I think. Put it back in the radio. Almost looks like something leaked through there. Anyway, so on his board that he gave me, it doesn't have that, and there's a resistor soldered someplace over here. The Yaesu did a lot of hand modifications to these. Now this stuff here that you see is actually glue. They glued these. But I remember first time I ever saw this kind of stuff, I thought, wow, these capacitors have really leaked. So, yeah, this is a really cool radio. I really definitely like it. It's the third one I've owned. This is the most stable one I've owned. And, the first one I bought at a ham fest in Arizona with no power cord for like $80. A lady was selling it from her late husband's estate, I guess. She had that radio, she had some 101ZDs, she had some 101s, a bunch of 520s, 820s, something like that, 530s, 830s, I don't even know. And I remember some guy came over and was like, I'll help you sell all this stuff, and blah, blah, and I guess she went for it. But anyway, I had bought this from her. She said she was going to go at home and look for the cord. She never did contact me again. And I found another lady selling her late husband's stuff, and he had all kinds of Collins gear and stuff like this. And I met up with her, and I tested it, and it was really, really wacky and doing really weird stuff. And I got it for like $180 or something. And I used that one to figure out what was wrong with the first one. I had a problem on the IF board, but I could never figure out where it was. And so I had my friend Alex, K6AFS, take the radio back home with him to Canoga Park. And I think he must have had it fixed that day. But, you know, he was like an electrical engineer kind of guy. So he fixed it for me, and then I sold both of the other 901s to N7RUE, and as far as I know, he still has one to this day. But unfortunately, he like bumped one of the knobs and broke them off or something. So, and I had a 101Z VFO and the 901 speaker, and so he had all that. So I found this one with the speaker at the Hamfest down in Marana. A really nice guy, and he had, you know, everything all printed out, a little piece of paper saying, you know, does full power, blah, blah, blah. So it pretty much worked exactly like he said it would, except for the thing that I showed in the video yesterday, where it would drop out in the audio. It would like act like it's starving for power. And of course today I can't get it to do it, so it's kind of why I had put it on the shelf in the first place. But I haven't owned this one for very long. I mean, I bought it at the Marana Ham Fest, which I think was just before Thanksgiving. It was on Veterans Day. So I've had this since Veterans Day. And so it seems to work pretty good. We did change the driver tube in it. Like I said, I swapped the board from W7WRX. Clark gave me a board. The other thing that was wrong with this one was one of the digits was dead in the display, and Clark had another display. And I actually just pulled the segment out because the display board that he gave me was slightly different. I don't know what the difference was. And it also had a problem with it. So I actually repaired the problem on that one. It was a on the back of the display board there was a lifted lead, and it was reading really weird. So you got that fixed. And so I have a backup display. It just has a segment, like if you're looking at the 8, the lower piece right here would be no good. It'd just be dead. But these segments, they plug in. You can take this thing apart and you can swap them. So, like if you know you're going to be on the low bands and you have a bad segment, just put the bad one all the way at the front where you're not going to see it as much. So, but anyway, so that's what I've had to do to this so far, and I recapped the other rectifier board already. Like I had everything left over from the other radio. So when I think I bought those radios in 2018 or 17. So these ones right here. I recapped all these 22s. It's funny because I think Clark recapped this one and used the same ones. They're probably just like the best deal on eBay or something. Anyway, so these boards are important to do. I don't know if I'm going to leave his board in or not, but if I do, I've got to pull the metal rail off of mine. He suggested I just remove the caps off of his board since it's slightly different. I don't know if this is a Yaesu protection mod, so that's kind of why I was like, well, maybe I should have that in there. Anyway, let's see if it's still working. All right, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 Kilo Golf 7 Hotel Victor Romeo, testing the Yaesu Ft901dm. So it's probably off frequency just a hair. The easiest way you can tell with that is, you use the old Collins Canary thing called zero beating. And the faster it moves, the worse you are. So this is specifically going to be how I zero beat one of these. I hold my microphone close to this one here. Now, when it's doing like that, it's pretty close. Hello, test 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So you don't even hear it beating at all. Even that's pretty close. So you get it to where it just stops, if you can. Some radios it's really hard to do. You get it to where it stops. Now this radio here has got a calibration. I've got the clarifier on too. I'm trying to exercise everything on this radio. So, sorry about the camera. With this radio here, yeah, you have to calibrate the display. Like on the ZD, this would be a dimmer. But hello, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. This radio was a huge improvement over the FT101. I mean, like, I think that the 101 at the time that this radio came out in 1979, I think the 101 was up to close to $800, and I think this radio was up to close to $3,000. So that kind of would explain to you that there's quite a bit of difference in the radio. So with this one here, it also was the first radio to have built-in memory, and I haven't had too many issues with this one as far as stability. But some people say, so if you really want the radio to not drift, then you would go in here. So you would hold the memory button, and you'll see the little LED flicker, and then it'll come on solid right here. And then you push this and go to memory. And this is also a way to do split mode. So let me bring the camera in a little bit closer to just kind of show you guys this. So it's not showing up very well on the camera. The angle is up a little too high. So this is memory, TX memory, RX memory. So if I go over here and I put my TX memory on something else, I can go change this. And we get a shift. So then you can go work 10 meter FM. This radio has FM. In fact, hey, let's see if we can get the guys on FM, because we might have some kind of conditions. Of course, I will have to probably fiddle with this for a minute. Let me take it off the other dummy load thing and get it on the vertical antenna for 10 meters. That way I don't have to worry about a tuner. So we probably want to be on 10D, I think 10D. 10C. I don't think 10C will cover it, but it might. 29.3. Okay, so what we want is 29.6. Just like the 101, this VFO is backwards. So we want about 640 is the London, Ontario. Come on. I believe the 902 is the correct rotation on the VFO. In here a little closer. Okay. So okay, we're on FM. Let's try just listening on here. I'm peeking the pre-selector. And you can actually look at the meter and peek it. Oop. Want to go for the maximum noise. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is off a little bit, because I believe that it is. So 26. Let me go onto my monitor radio. Okay. I see, and okay, we're also we had this on the memory part too. Okay, let me get it tuned up. So on this radio, we got to go back down to our offset frequency, and then we'll hit memory. We'll see it's locked in. And then we go to memory. And we want TX memory. Now, we need to go up to our receiving frequency. See, we are off. Okay, this radio is off by 5. I noticed that when I was trying to transmit on it before. KG7 HVR testing. I don't hear it coming back to me. So if I was getting into the repeater, it will come back with a chime, you know, a tone. But there, do you hear that noise? And there's other repeaters on this frequency. Just want to make sure it's still doing what it's supposed to. Let's try monitoring on another radio. Okay, I can see it, I just can't hear it. Let's just see if we're even intelligible. KG7H3R testing the Ft901dm, and we're monitoring it on a 746 Pro, 746 Pro, KG7H3R. So, you guys heard it. It's not super loud. I could turn the volume up a little more. Okay, so if we can just get this dialed in and wait for conditions, we can see if we can make a contact with the London, Ontario repeater. We have memory. KG7H3R. We're not going to be able to do it right now, but it does appear that the band is kind of not there yet. Once I can hear them, you know, pretty good, you know, then I can jump in. So anyway, I'm going to try and do that today. We're going to try and really get this radio going. It's a really cool radio because other than the 102 that the FM board didn't come with standard, this is the only other tube hybrid that I know of that has AM and FM. I don't know of any other radio that does. Kenwood never even had AM in any of their tube hybrids except for a really obscure TS830M that was only available in other markets. It was never available in the US market. So, at any rate, what's cool about this is if you want to use it with a transverter or something like that, you know, you could get on 2 meters, you could get on, you know, whatever as far as your transverter will go. So, it's certainly a little more versatile. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later.